Tina, and I wanted to record a video about my journey with taking Saxenda. Um, as some of you have already figured out, if you start Google searching and doing your research, you'll find that there's not a lot of info out there yet about Saxenda. Part of it's because it's new, and the other part is it's because it was sort of a renamed, repackaged version of Victoza. But regardless, it's important, to get people's experiences about this medication out there. So just to give you a quick background on why I'm even taking it, I am overweight, probably, obviously. But anyway, I didn't really have a weight problem until I hit about 30, and then my hormones really messed up. I was diagnosed by an endocrinologist with hypothyroidism, as well as really high testosterone. And apparently, according to the doctor, that just messes everything up. And there was weight gain and just all kinds of problems. So after I got all that regulated, the weight gain, of course, was still there. And I lost a little bit of weight with diet and exercise and things like that. But as most of you know who have a weight loss struggle, once you gain weight, it's really, really hard to get off. And part of the reason is, of course, biologically, we are designed to save all that energy and keep that fat in case we need to, run from a bear. Obviously, it doesn't help us in modern day times, but as a result, it's very frustrating, of course. And so I've tried over the years, to get back to a quote-unquote normal weight, and I have not had much luck. I don't really have that many issues with food, so it's interesting to me because there's a variety of reasons why people gain weight, and I think that no matter what the reason is, once you gain it, this is, again, the hardest part is getting it off. And part of it's because, we have a very difficult time resisting our hunger. Hunger, obviously, is huge to our biology and helps us survive, and so it's very, very difficult for us to ignore our hunger. So medications that help control that and regulate our hormones and insulin and things like that can be very beneficial. So I thought I would give this a try. My endocrinologist actually suggested it, and she said that because of my sort of metabolic issues, that this could be quite good for me, both regulating my insulin and hormones and actually losing weight. Now, I don't have diabetes, which is sort of a big reason that people get put on Victoza or Saxenda, but apparently it's useful regardless. So that's the quick background. I have been on it for exactly 1 week. Actually, this is day 8. So when I started, I will tell you that it involves injecting the medication into your stomach area. I'm fairly needle phobic, so I was a little bit worried about this, and I can relieve your worries in that direction, is that it was really no big deal. Once I got over the initial sort of disturbance of putting a needle in me, I can't feel it hardly at all. Like it's just crazy. It's really easy. So that I got over very quickly. But the first thing I noticed was that the next day I had this kind of really angry welt where the shot had gone in. Now, I did a little research on that, and there's not a lot out there, but apparently the medication when I first injected it was really cold from the fridge, so that's one issue. And then you can have like an allergy response to the medication as well, just topically, in other words. So for the next shot, it was room temperature, and I noticed that after that first injection, I haven't had such a big reaction again. I do have little red areas and kind of looks like a tiny rash, but I've been managing that with like antihistamine cream, like cortisol cream or whatever. So that hasn't really been too big of an issue. Okay, so you probably researched and heard that you can have a lot of nausea and vomiting and diarrhea or constipation, all kinds of, intestinal issues from taking this medication. So I'll tell you, I started off with the regular dose of 0.6, the lowest dose. And the first day, I didn't notice anything. But I did notice immediately that my hunger was decreased. So that was interesting. But day 2 and 3, I did have a little bit of nausea, or it's not even nausea. It's almost just like upset stomach a bit in the evening. with some burps and some things like that. Body getting used to it, I would imagine. I will say I was starting to think, okay, if I had to have this all the time, would I still take this medication? And I will say yes, because it was very manageable. It was very mild. It was very temporary. And I've had no bathroom issues at all. Like I thought it might change my, patterns in that arena. Not at all. So I've had no constipation, no diarrhea, no cramps, nothing weird like that. Um, so anyway, after the first 3 or 4 days of adjusting and it's been fine. I haven't had any more of those symptoms. So I've also heard that when you increase dosages that you get those symptoms back. So I will say today I took my first increased dose of 1.2 and no reaction yet. So I'm happy about that. Feels fine. So my overall feeling is really just that my appetite is decreased. I'm not really hungry. I don't crave anything. That makes it really much easier to control food, right? I mean, if you're hungry and you want to eat, it's very difficult to resist, but it's very easy for me to resist now. So I'm very hopeful. And I will say that within 1 week, I've lost 5 pounds. So that could have been water weight, there could have been adjustment, who knows. But I think it's a great sign. And I hope this video helps you guys sort of navigate what all the issues are about the medications and how you might respond. I will say, obviously, it's probably very individual. But I will keep you updated, I think week by week, something like that, to let you know how I'm doing. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments.